Our last lesson in this module is understanding relative and absolute cell references. In Microsoft Excel, mastering relative and absolute cell references is the single most important skill you'll learn for building smart, robust, and copy-paste friendly formulas. It is an absolute must-know for your MOS certification and will transform you from a formula fumbler to a true spreadsheet hero. At the end of this lesson, you'll understand the different types of cell references and when to use them. Why your formulas break when copied. Let's imagine you're calculating a 5% sales commission for a list of employees as displayed in the table below. If you put the 5% rate in cell B5 and try to calculate Great's commission in cell C2 as follows. Equals B2 times B5. Use autofill handle to drag the formula down for Namdi and Lizzie. What happens? Let's take a look. For Great, in C2, we have equals B2 times B5. This will give us 1000 times 5%, which equals 50. This is correct. For Namdi, in C3, Excel tries to copy the formula relatively. So, it becomes equals B3 times B6. But B6 is empty. Therefore, Namdi gets 0 or an error. This happens because, by default, Excel uses relative cell references. This is where the $sign comes in. The $sign is like a tiny, magical lock that you can put on parts of your cell reference to convert them to absolute or mixed references. Types of references. There are three main types of cell references you can use when copying Excel formulas. They are relative, absolute, and mixed cell references. Let's discuss each of them and when to use them in your formulas. Relative reference. Relative cell reference is in the form A1, B2, C3. This is the default type of reference in Microsoft Excel. Relative means relative to where the formula is located. When you copy a formula that uses relative references, Excel adjusts the cell references based on the new location. This means that when you copy a formula from cell D2 to D5, the formula adjusts to the new location. For example, if the formula in D2 is equals B2 plus C2, then the copied formula in D5 will become equals B5 plus C5. We use this type of referencing most of the time, especially when performing the same calculation down a column, for example, adding numbers in each row, or calculating individual totals, etc. Absolute reference. This type of reference is in the form $A $1, $B $5, C $10. The $sign applies a lock to the cell addresses. An absolute reference is locked or fixed. When you copy a formula with an absolute reference, that reference does not change. The $signs is used to lock the column, the row, or both. Use this type of reference when you need to refer to a single, specific cell, for example, a tax rate, a commission percent, an interest percent, etc., that should remain constant for all calculations, even when the formula is copied. How to make a reference absolute? To make a cell address absolute, use the F for key, following these steps. 1. Type your formula, e.g., equals B2 times B5. 2. Place your cursor directly on or next to the cell reference you want to make absolute, e.g., B5. 3. Press the F for key on your keyboard as follows. Press once to lock both column B and row 5. This will make cell B5 fully absolute, $B $5. Press twice to lock only row 5. This is a mixed reference where only the row is locked, B $5. Press thrice to lock only column B. This also is a mixed reference where only the column is locked, $B5. Press 4 times to go back to relative reference, B5. Memorize this shortcut, it is much faster than typing the dollar signs within the cell address. Mixed reference. Mixed reference is in the form $B1 or $B$1. This is the hybrid lock. In mixed cell reference, you can lock just the column $B1 or just the row $B$1. Locking the column, say, $B1 means always stay in column B, but adjust the row number. Locking the row, say, $B$1 means always stay in row 1, but adjust the column letters. This means that only the unlocked column, or row, will adjust when formulas are copied across cells. This type of referencing is not used often, especially for beginners. But it is crucial for more complex scenarios like creating multiplication tables, or specific lookups where you need one part of the reference to change and the other to stay fixed. Such as, when copying a formula both down and across. Fixing the commission calculator. Let's revisit our commission calculation problem above. We actually want cell B5, the cell with 5% rate, to stay fixed while we copy the formula. Therefore, do the following. In cell C2, type the formula equals B2 times B5. With your cursor still in the formula bar, or, in cell C2 with the formula visible, move your cursor to highlight B5. Press F4 once. The formula should change to equals B2 times $B$5. Press Enter. You will get 50. Now, select cell C2 again. Click and drag the fill handle down to cell C4. You will observe that cell C3 now correctly calculates equals B3 times $B$5. That is, Nandi's sales times fixed rate of 5%. Also, cell C4 now correctly calculates equals B4 times $B$5. That is, Liz's sales times fixed rate of 5%. This is because the dollar signs locked or fixed cell B5 when the formula was copied. Wow! Our problem is now resolved. If you correctly resolved the problem, type "resolved" in the comment. When to use each cell reference. Let's briefly summarize when you can use each of the cell references in your formulas and functions. 1. Use relative cell reference when you're adding two numbers in each row, e.g., equals A2 plus B2, and copying down. You're calculating individual subtotals, e.g., equals sum B2 to D2, and copying down. In the above cases, the calculation method is the same, but the specific data changes for each row or column. To use absolute cell reference when you have a single tax rate, discount percent, exchange rate, or a constant in one cell that all other calculations must refer to. You're using a lookup value in a fixed cell for a series of lookups. When you are dealing with a cell that has a constant value and needs to be locked. Understand that, the more you build and copy formulas, the more intuitive relative and absolute references will become. It's a foundational skill that unlocks much more complex Excel capabilities. In conclusion, the dollar sign might seem small, but understanding relative and absolute cell references is the cornerstone of building dynamic, error-free spreadsheets in Excel. It transforms formula copying from a headache into an efficient tool. Master this, and you'll not only ace your MOS certification, but you'll also build incredibly versatile and reliable worksheets, cementing your status as a true spreadsheet expert.